when you seek him, when you ask him to get involved. Never take God's favor for granted. Yes, it is ours through Christ, but it's not to be taken lightly. There's so much at stake. So much at stake if we don't pray. Eternal lives are at stake. Life on earth is at stake. When you think of the people, the responsibilities, the opportunities that you have, and you think, imagine what could happen if I prayed for those things. Or to look at it in a much darker way, what could happen if I don't pray? It's kind of a scary question. What could happen if I don't pray? So we need to be praying for events, projects, and for people in our life. And to do that, I want to share with you some ideas, some practices that I've developed in my life over the years of how I've learned how to pray on a regular basis. I am not the kind of guy, I'm just going to tell you up front, I'm not the kind of guy who gets on his knees and prays for an hour at a time. I don't have that kind of focus. But I pray all the time. And here's some of the ways that it happens, okay? So you can even write some of these down. The first thing is you can schedule prayers. Schedule them, because they're easy to forget. So schedule them. You get out your calendar, that's what calendars are for, and you write it down on your calendar. You're gonna pray for something. If somebody tells you something's about to happen on such and such a date, put it on your calendar so you can pray about it. Set an alarm if you need to. Some things you pray about every day. Some things you pray about weekly or monthly. Some things might just be seasonal. Maybe there's a time when someone is in an illness. It's a seasonal time. And after that season is passed, you may continue to pray for them, but it's much less fervent, okay? So for example, I pray for my family every single day. My wife and my kids, every day, and my grandkids. I pray for the people that I work with every day that I work. I don't pray for them each for a half an hour. I just talk to the Lord, just mention their names to the Lord. There are other people that I pray for on a seasonal basis. For example, I have a friend named Dave. He travels a lot in his work. He actually is he trains pastors. He's in the Philippines right now, training 1,200 pastors in the purpose-driven model of church. He doesn't work here. He just loves what we do. So whenever I know that Dave's going to be in the Philippines, I'll find out, okay, when are you leaving? When are you coming home? And I put it on my calendar. And I pray for Dave every day that he's there. It doesn't mean I have to pray for him all the time, every day for the rest of my life. It's a seasonal thing, but I put it on a calendar. I'm scheduling my prayers. Here's another idea. Turn drive time into prayer time. Turn drive time into prayer time. I started this years ago, where I decided that the time that I would have spent driving from my home to my office, I was going to turn off the radio, put the phone down, and I was just going to talk to the Lord. Just like he was sitting in the seat next to me. I'm just going to spend that. It's a 15-minute period. And every day as I drive into my office, I spend my morning talking to the Lord. I start first by just giving myself to him. I say, Lord, I'm yours today. Fill me in a fresh way today for whatever's coming. And I'll talk to him for a few minutes about that. Then I pray for my family. I get down to the corner. I'm sitting at the light, waiting to turn left. There's a church on the corner. I look at that church and I go, Lord, would you move in that place? Just by your spirit, bless that congregation. I turn the corner, I start heading up, okay? And then I begin to pray for people that I work with. It's a habit that I've developed, that 15 minutes of driving I spend in conversation with God. Whatever he might then happen to bring to my mind, I begin to talk to him about it. But I've turned my drive time into prayer time. It's a great way to redeem that time. Instead of filling my head with all kinds of nonsense that I'd hear on talk radio or the news or whatever, I'm just going to spend in a conversation with the Lord. Here's another idea. Pray for drop-in visitors. Pray for your drop-in visitors. Let me explain what I mean by drop-in visitors. A drop-in visitor is, you know, those times when out of the blue, somebody pops into your head. You haven't thought about them in years. And all of a sudden, you're thinking about this person. You go, where did that come from? I thought about that guy forever. Pray for him. Again, what's it going to hurt? But I've just decided that if somebody's going to invade my brain, I'm going to pray for him. And I take that moment, that opportunity, so that at least someone is praying for that person. Why they came to my mind, I couldn't tell you. So I'm going to chalk it up to God. And I'm going to figure he must know why he wanted me to pray